Hey everyone, Ethan here with Extreme RC 4x4, and today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts and opinions about the Traxxas TRX-4. Now I have mine in the Land Rover Defender body, but you can get it with the tactical unit body, which sits a little bit lower, and it doesn't have all this roof rack stuff on it, but I believe it does use the same fenders and the same inner wheel wells. So basically everything's going to apply to this review as a tactical unit review would, except for a few things about the body here and there. So first, we'll go ahead and talk about the looks of this thing. I think it looks really awesome. Traxxas did a great job with all these light buckets and the grille as well. The only thing I've really changed are I added some scale accessories to the roof rack, as well as this winch up here I added, which I replaced the factory plastic winch with. I did this because this winch is functional and it looks a lot better in my opinion than the one that they had on there. I think they could have done a little bit better job with the plastic winch that was on there. Maybe a few stickers. It didn't have to say a brand name, so they would have to get licensing. Just some stickers to spice it up a little bit would have been fine for me. But these bumpers, I feel like it does hang out a little bit far. It could be tucked in a little bit further, but that is something I would be interested in the future, is a bumper that would allow me to get a better approach angle on this. I feel like that kind of slows me down a little bit, but it is to be expected. On the rear here, the rear bumper, I have no real complaints about. A spare tire is actually mounted on the body, as well as these scale goodies. I put these back on here so you can see them, but I still need to do a little bit of painting on these here, as well as the jack. So you can see they are detailed a little more than the factory ones are. I went through and painted them and made them look pretty, or better in my opinion. But this body is a Lexan body, which I typically try to go with hard bodies where I can, because I think hard bodies are really awesome. They add a little bit more weight, and it's way more realistic. It performs a lot more like a real truck would, and I like hard bodies. However, Traxxas did an amazing job with this Lexan body. You have all these scale details like the mirror, the snorkels, just the snorkel. You have this nice kind of exo cage, which the roof rack is mounted to. You can remove it if you do not desire the look that the roof rack provides. You can remove it, as well as a few other things, such as how the body fits into this rock slider here. That looks really good as well. The fenders being screwed into the inner fenders, which are also mounted on the body, help to create a really rigid body, and it gives you a really good feel. Now the spare tire is mounted to the body, which I typically shy away from. However, once again, Traxxas did a really good job with their plastics, and there's pins in the body that go into the rear bumper, so all this movement is transmitted into the chassis, so the body isn't actually moving separate from the chassis right now. I think that's absolutely awesome. I would like to add some scale door handles in the future, and possibly that gas cap on the side that are offered from Shapeways. Night Customs, I believe, makes them. But that is part of the downside of this body. It is kind of a pain to get off sometimes. Sometimes it's easier than others, but as we all know, everything's harder on camera. So here you can see all of the inner fenders and how it mounts up to the spare tire carrier and your scale accessories. I also really like all of the lights around the body. I would like to get a light kit for this. I think it would really make some good use out of all these scale lights that you have in here. One thing that really stood out to me when I saw the Traxxas light kit that they offer for this was how much thinking that they've actually already done about this truck. So in each one of these pockets here that you see, the lids pop off. They actually unscrew and you can take them off and put in some rock lights, which absolutely blows my mind because Traxxas had to be thinking of rock lights and installing rock lights in their truck before they even released this truck. So that was really awesome that they've put this much thought into everything. It really just kind of blew my mind. I don't think I've ever seen so much thought being put into any other truck on the market. You can also see these pegs here, which are for the light kit, the power supply, to note, as well as this wire here that you plug into your power supply. So I do have some foam pieces in this battery holder to help hold my battery from sliding back and forth, as it's not a complete perfect fit. However, in the 26mm setting, it does give a really a good snug, but not too snug, top to bottom, I guess, feel. There also is a 23mm setting that you can get by just rotating this around, so 26 and then 23. So I personally am a fan of this battery tray here. I think it's really nice. I don't have to mess with Velcro, and I definitely don't worry about this my battery coming loose on the trail. Now the rock sliders, I usually don't like plastic rock sliders, and the reason is because anytime you get any weight on them, they simply push up into your body, which in this case is Lexan. However, Traxxas, they have these braced so well, it's difficult to bend them. I mean, I'm pretty good amount of force into them that this truck is really going to have a hard time putting on the rock sliders. So carrying on, the bumpers, well mounted. There's not a whole lot of flex and everything. The body posts as well, this rear one's kind of expected, it's a little bit longer. But let's go ahead and talk about electronics. So electronics wise, this has a 21 turn 550 reverse rotation Traxxas motor, so all that jazz. Traxxas waterproof XL5HV ESC, that's 3S compatible, so that's nice. You have a waterproof receiver box. I'm not sure if the receiver's waterproof, but it's marketed that the entire truck is waterproof, so if you're looking for a submarine, I guess Traxxas has you covered. So I'm not all into the electronics too much. The only thing I would really consider is if this motor burn out, I would possibly go for a 27 turn motor, so that would give you a little bit more low speed. However, this truck in low gear is slower than an SCX-10 with a 35 turn motor on a single speed transmission. So that's probably a speed a lot of you guys are familiar with. Single speed SCX-10 with a 35 turn motor, and this thing is slower than it in low gear. So you get good crawling speed, and high speed is it's geared fast enough where it's fun, but it's not too fast where the motor doesn't have enough torque. I actually like messing around in high speed. It's pretty fun. I don't like to admit it, but it's fun because I try to go slow on camera and everything. But all the servos in here, they've given me zero trouble. The only thing, the steering servo could be stronger. I don't know that I would pay a whole lot more money for a lot stronger servo, but I think a little bit stronger would definitely make a difference. However, it is an RTR, so I guess cut them some slack. Alright guys, let's go ahead and talk about the differential locks. Now I really like these. This feature is really awesome. It kind of makes the truck stand out from the rest of the scale market, except for maybe a few 8 scale models that are just now getting the differential locks. But this one, I really like the diff locks because of the fact that you can make any obstacle a challenge, really. You're used to having the all-time four-wheel drive and the other scale crawlers. You kind of just creep over the easy stuff, but with the differential locks, you can really make things a challenge, which is fun. I don't like to just kind of cruise over everything. It's fun to have to try to improve yourself as a driver and just see what you can do without the differential locks. But once you do have them locked, full-time four-wheel drive, just as good as any other truck on the market, in my opinion. The way that it's built, I have found no weak points in it. I have taken it completely apart and greased it, and I know how it's all built now. I will have a greasing video coming up sometime in the future. I'm not sure when. I just have to edit it. I've already filmed it, and so on. So the differential locks, I think they're awesome. I wish all the scale trucks or more scale trucks had them. They're really fun to play with, and you can actually get some pretty neat manipulation of how the vehicle pulls itself over things. Talking about the portal axles, these are really awesome. It does give you some more gearing, which is why you can have the 21 turn motor in here and everything's fine, just because there's so much gearing in the transmission through to the axles and now out to these portals. I do find that you get a really good steering angle too while we're on the topic, which is good, especially while you have the differentials open. This vehicle will turn way sharper than any other truck, really, because of the open differentials, and it doesn't have the all-time four-wheel drive. So the portal axles, they give you much better axle clearance. You don't hardly have to even plan your lines as much as you would with a truck that just has standard solid axles. So I really like these because they're not aftermarket, and I find when you get the aftermarket portals, it kind of makes everything wider, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just kind of changes the stance and the look of the vehicle overall, and I kind of like the stock width. Now, talking about the tires, as far as scale appearance, they do seem a little bit wide, but they perform really well. Not amazing, but for stock tires, I can't really complain about them. They've performed well in most of the case scenarios I've been in, which is snow, sand, rocks, all that kind of stuff. I don't really do much in the mud, especially on this truck, even though the fender wells really keep all the crap out. I just have a hard time bringing myself to drag this thing through the mud. But anyways, guys, that is my opinion of the TRX-4. Honestly, if I was going to buy another truck, I think I would just buy another one of these, even if it was a tactical unit. I think these trucks are awesome, kind of ahead of the game, really, compared to a lot of the trucks out there. It is a little bit higher price point, but I really like it, and I think I would pay that money for the features you get. Standard 2-speed differential locks, portal axles. Doing all that stuff aftermarket would cost you so much more than just getting one of these. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about the TRX-4 in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.